Good afternoon, my classy people. Wayne Bolden here. It is Sunday, the day after the horrible horror show this weekend called the Belmont Stakes, right? Um, Man, just again, with the weather and the scratches and the cancellation of full races, just want to do a post cap of the weekend. Start with the Acorn for sure. Well, hey, nice exacta. Of course, our top two picks ran 1-2. Everybody knows about Lucara, of course, and 7-1, I believe, Lucara was, and our second pick was Look Forward. Really, really nice exacta for sure. Used those two horses, which were my top two picks, back to my top two picks in the Belmont Stakes. Of course, Rodriguez and no doubt Sovereignty. That's a no-brainer for me, obviously. Um, and that part of it worked out for me. But the overall theme of the whole weekend was just a bummer. We didn't have one good race day or race weekend for the Triple Crown races, and it just takes away from the fun of it, and you have this, I don't know, just a bad feeling about the whole thing, right? And me personally, I hate off tracks. I can't stand sloppy tracks because you don't know what's going to happen, and it's just not fair and not even. So that being said, let's take a look at the Belmont Stakes. Well, Rodriguez got to the top. Great value at 6 or 7-1. End up fading the third. Okay, he was the value in the race. And of course, like I said, I thought this could be a match race between the two top 3-year-olds in the country, Sovereignty and Journalism, right? Because they were going to race off of each other, wait for the other to make the move, and it came up that way. And Sovereignty won by, a couple lengths more or something like that. But no shade on Journalism, right? I mean, he's a top 3-year-old, right? Between these two horses, they won all three of the races. So they lead the division. And this thing's not over in terms of development, for the Reporter horse, right? I mean, he's a young 3-year-old. And let's just hope that they both keep racing, right? So we can see them at 4 and, God forbid, beyond at 5 years old, because they're worth so much money in the breeding shed. But again, wasn't no value to be made there for sure at 8-5 and 2-1 or 5-2. Like I said, I played the doubles, so I made out okay there. But overall, it was just wasn't excited about either day. Even though I hit a couple small tickets with the doubles, the Acorn and the Belmont Stakes double. You just want a good, clean race day, right? Where the track is dry and all the horses are in, which creates more value for the players, and most of all, the entertainment for us, right? The fun of it. So it was a Debbie Downer, if you ask me. The horses performed great, the ones that ran. I think 2 of the races are scheduled for today, Sunday. Matter of fact, the Jaipur Stakes is ready to run in another 20 minutes or so, and that horse AG Bullet that I like is in there. So, but yeah, that's my post follow-up for the Belmont Stakes. I mean, nothing exciting for sure. Godolphin won. What else is new? We knew, those were the 2 horses to beat. You didn't need no public handicapper to give you the Derby winner and the Preakness winner, right? So it ended up being a match race, and Sovereignty got the better of them again this time. Okay, but again, just hats off to the connection of Journalism horse. Mike McCarthy, the owners, restfully did a beautiful job, and they showed up for all the dances. Right, so again, no shade on them because they wasn't afraid in the Derby, rightly so. And then they rolled back in 2 weeks in the Preakness Journalism, and then rolled back in 3 weeks. So again, very, very classy the way that he handled them, got them, kept them together. Obviously, young, strong horse. So I have nothing but respect for that connection, and obviously. The horse, right? Journalism, very, very good horse. Even though I have fun with him at his expense, right? Calling him the Reporter horse. because that's what he is, extra. But what a top 3-year-old he is, and hopefully we get to see him continue to race. And in November at Breeders' Cup, maybe both of them will show up in the Breeders' Cup Classic. Now, how awesome would that be, right? Taking on some olders, right? Even though they'll be closer to 4 than they are 3 in November. And hopefully we'll see these two and as a 4-year-old. Now, Baeza, well, again, I'm not going to chirp. I'm just amazed, not that people liked him, but he was an underlay. And if you're just fanning for him, that's fine. But he's a winner of 1, right? And he's still developing, For him to beat all 3 of those horses, just from where I sit, just seemed, not likely. The probability wasn't there. And if you're going to take that probability, you got to have bigger odds. Okay? I'm not saying, he couldn't win, but there's a probability involved. And the higher the less your probability is on winning, the more odds you have to demand. And I wasn't taking 4-1 and 5-1 on Baeza. Nice 3-year-old. And come November, May, he's going to develop more. I thought they should have took him next week or the following week to the Ohio Derby, get him some confidence. I'm pretty sure, he might have beat those horses out there and get them going. But he beat maiden horses, right, and ran 2nd and 3rd to the top 3-year-olds, and he ended up 3rd again. Again, no disgrace to run 3rd in the Belmont Stakes. There ain't nothing you don't got to frown about that. And of course Rodriguez, who I had some rooting interest for, Authentic ran 4th. So again, just like we figured, or just the way it looked on paper, that the top 2 horses will dominate, and the 2 horses that had the best shot, you would guess, Baeza and Rodriguez, or at least the only other I thought, Rodriguez. But like I said in my video for the race, I thought it could come down to a match race, right? For sure. But no shade on Baeza either, just a young horse, still developing. They need to give him another win in his belt. But I can't be mad at them either, because they were in there with the big boys and they weren't afraid, okay? Me personally, I'm not trying to be funny, I would have sent them over to the Ohio Derby and used that as a stepping stone, maybe with my eye on Breeders' Cup in November at beautiful Del Mar. But again, we got some pretty nice 3-year-olds. We just need dry racetracks to run over for sure. So there's my recap, right? Nothing exciting here, of course. Just a Debbie Downer with the weather and the scratches. And not only horses, they scratch races, right? I mean, 9th race and the 12th race, they just took right off the card, man. So again, thanks everybody for all your support and watching the videos and the things you do like that, for sure. I do also want to mention anybody that brought tip sheets, right? Hey, the next time I do tip sheets, everybody that purchased them, I'm sending you a free copy. Not for any other reason other than it was just a Debbie Downer race. That's all, card for both days. So stay classy, folks. Appreciate all that you do. My name is Wayne Bolden. I'm the Speed King. Have a great Sunday. Have something good to eat. Still raining here on the East Coast.